Hey, welcome to another episode of After the Buzzer Sports Podcast with Lee and Marv. I'm your host, Lee Jones. That's the Hall of Famer, Marvin Orange. Hey, man, we got a hot show for you guys today, just coming off that NFL action that we just saw. We're going to dive into that today, but a great day of NFL action. We're going to jump into some of the NFL action. We're going to talk about your thoughts on the Colorado big comeback win. I want to ask the question to Marv about the SEC. Can they get 6 teams in the college football playoffs? If he thinks he can do that. And then today was the first day of the WNBA playoffs. We want to dive into that. Asia Wilson named WNBA MVP. Congratulations, Asia Wilson. Job well done. Unanimous choice because there's no way that there could have been any other. But Mark, what's happening, man? What's happening?
What's going on? What's going on, man? You feeling okay?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm always okay, man. The show is on. I'm always okay. What are you talking about? I'm always okay. Beautiful day. Let's jump into this NFL action, man. Let's jump in. I want to get your thoughts on a couple of games today, Marv. The Texans and the Vikings. Great game today. I thought it was going to be a knockdown, drag out. C.J. Stroud doing his thing. I was interested to see was the Vikings defense really legit, and if they were, through the first 2 games, that Brian Flores has been pitching shutouts against people, beat San Francisco, and I wanted to see what they were about today, right? And overwhelmingly, the Vikings put it on C.J. Stroud, picked him off twice. Only held him to 215 yards. The key for me, Marv, they only rushed for 35 yards today. The Texans did. They sacked C.J. Stroud 5 times. So, man, what were your thoughts about the Vikings? You called this a couple of weeks ago when you were talking about Minnesota. So I want to give you the floor. And what do you think about the Vikings and this beat down of the Texans?
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota's for real. I think Brian Flores is showing you that he's an excellent defensive coach. And I told you I thought that they had one of the best drafts that kind of went under the radar a little bit defensively. Dallas Turner, they picked up some other things defensively, and Minnesota looks good right now. Sam Darnold's playing efficient. I think they held the Texans for. I think they were 3 of 12 on third downs today. And if you get people off the field on third downs, you win a lot of football games. I think C.J. Stroud might have been, 66, 68 completion percentage today. It's tough. And if Darnold's throwing for four, I think he threw for 4 touchdowns today. Minnesota has the recipe. You get a quarterback that doesn't turn it over. He makes timely plays. You got receivers that can get open. You got a defense that makes it difficult, to do anything offensively against them. And Brian Flores put together some game plans, man. I think he had C.J. Stroud confused a whole bunch of times. I didn't watch the whole game, but from what I saw, a lot of confusion going on with the Texans. So Minnesota is for real. I'm not going to pick them as a Super Bowl contender or to make it to the Super Bowl, but they're going to be a tough out for people because they play defense well. Sam Darnold got hurt. I thought that could have been a little turning point, but he ended up coming back into the game, which was good for him. So keep your eye on Minnesota, man. They playing good football. They got a great defense, and if Sam Darnold continue to be consistent, they're going to be a hard out for people.
Yeah. You hit it on the head, man. They really showed me something today. The pressure that they had on Stroud all day, relentless pressure in the backfield, moving him off the spot. And Marv, you have to say this, man. Brian Flores is going to be a hot commodity this offseason. I know he got the lawsuit against the NFL that's still pending, but man, he can coach some defense, and he came in. He's changed up everything that the Vikings are doing, and kudos to him, and kudos to the Vikings. Excellent win. And hey, the sky's the limit for them, right? The sky's the limit. They can run the football. They run the football well. They have a tight end. They got Justin Jefferson. Vikings are a team to watch out for. And on the flip side, I don't think this is a referendum on the Texans. I think the Texans still are a good team. It's just they ran into a buzzsaw today, man. And it was evident that they're a physical team, both running and stopping the run, and that's how you win football games. So I think, hey, kudos off to the Vikings, as you said. Great choice, great pick. I want to go to the next game, Marv. The Chargers and the Steelers. I want you to dive into that for me. What you saw in that game. I know you're still a homer, but tell me what you saw in that game, especially from Justin Fields. I think this was his best to me of all the games. And Justin Fields has had games where he's rushed for 100 yards and all that. To me, this is the best football game I saw Justin Fields play in his short career. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think they took the training wheels off today, right? They decided to open it up a little bit with him. The Chargers had a really good defense. I think the Steelers and Chargers may be 1 and 2 in terms of points per game. So they took the training wheels off and let him go. I think he was 25 or 32 for maybe 245, 250 maybe through the air. He looked good. He made good decisions. They took calculated deep shots against the Chargers, 346 yards to the Chargers 168. Defense always travels, and the Steelers are going to play that brand of football. But I think Justin Fields is kind of taking a stranglehold of his quarterback position. I mean, he's playing well. He's not making a lot of mistakes. He's running the offense well, and that added dimension of him being able to improvise in the pocket and extend plays. It's just an added dimension that a lot of quarterbacks don't have. So I like what I see. It's going to be harder and harder for Russell Wilson to see the field, and I think the Russell Wilson to Miami train might get started pretty soon because if you watch the Dolphins today, they need to make some decisions on what they're going to do at quarterback until they decide on what Tua's going to do. So I like Justin Fields. The Steelers are going to be there. They're playing tremendously. As long as the injury bug doesn't hit them, I think they're going to be formidable because Justin Fields is he's taking a stranglehold of that quarterback position.
Yeah, I like Fields. I think Fields played his best game. He was on time with the ball. His accuracy was there, and that was impressive to me. How he threw the ball with accuracy. I don't think they trade Russell Wilson because you need two quarterbacks, and it's a long, long season, as we know. It's a long, long season. So, but if I was Miami, I certainly would inquire because Skylar Thompson got hurt today. I think he had a chest injury. So I'm sure some people are going to be calling, and if I was Miami, I definitely would call Ray Blackwell says he still doesn't trust Sam Darnold. It's only the third game. Let's wait and see. I think now that is true, but the formula for how Minnesota wins, Marv, I think that formula works because they don't put him. He threw the ball 28 times today. That's not a lot of throws, so that formula works for them. But I will say I will still reserve the fact on Darnold. But I love their defense. But I think you're right, Marv. I think it's hard to go away from Justin Fields, but I'll say this. Pittsburgh's schedule gets a lot harder the second after this first quarter of the season, going into the second quarter of the season. So we'll see how good and how well Justin Fields is going to play. And Miss Norma Orange, we're going to get to the Cowboys in a minute. Don't worry about that. We definitely going to get to the Cowboys because I know that's what some of you want to talk about. But the third game I want to jump into, Marv, the Eagles and the Saints. Low-scoring game, very low-scoring game. You know, Saquon Barkley, what can you say? I don't know why the Giants gave him up and gift wrapped him to the Eagles, but Saquon was the difference in the game, man. I mean, he was the difference in the game. Jalen Hurts played okay. I mean, Hurts he still makes too many bad decisions for me. He holds the ball a little bit too long for me, but his running ability is evident. That was evident in the game. He did throw the ball well, but he's definitely his decision making and holding the ball it should be a problem for Eagles fans. But Barkley is a difference maker, and their defense came to play today. What are your thoughts on the Saints coming back down to life a little bit and the Eagles beating them in the Superdome, Mark?
Listen, just when I was ready to jump on the Saints bandwagon, they remind you of why you can't trust them, right? And I think it's really a microcosm of Derek Carr. I think that's probably more of an issue for the Saints than anything else. It's been his career. It's been up and down. Sometimes you see him and you think he could be a Hall of Famer, and other times he looked like his brother, right? So I just don't trust him enough. Kamara's a bad boy. That defense is tough. We know that. But it comes down to Derek Carr for me, and I just don't have a lot of faith in him. And, I'm always going to be a Jalen Hurts fan. Alabama, go to Oklahoma. I love the kid. But I really do think he's regressed. And I can't put my finger on it, but it don't feel right now for him. And I don't quite know what it is. And thank goodness for Saquon Barkley and Dallas Goedert, because they basically took over the game for Philadelphia and won that football game for them. And that's why you pay Saquon the money, because he was the best player on the field. So But I don't know what's going on with Jalen right now. It doesn't look natural. Nothing looks really fluid to me. The passing game doesn't look good. Devontae went out today, got a concussion. AJ Brown is hurt. So it was a big win for them because they got a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully they can right the ship. But I just don't have a lot of faith in Philly right now either. So it's still wide open. But good win for them today because I was ready to jump on the Saints bandwagon. So thank you for reminding me to get off that ledge because they'll always do it to you.
Yeah, the Saints, I mean, offensively, Derek Carr, he was missing in action today, man. I mean, just 142 yards passing, 14 to 25, just missing in action. The Eagles put a lot of pressure on them, and they only rushed for 89 yards on 24 carries. So if they can't get the running game going, the Saints, they're in trouble because they like to do a lot of play action. So we'll see again early in the season. We'll see what happens. Sammy Campbell made a comment to you, Marv. He said you need to go to Dallas. Because they're going to have a sale on everything, even the popcorn. Sammy Campbell is the biggest hater I know. But let's jump right into that, Mark. Let's jump right into that because Odell Hill, what's happening? What's happening, Odell Hill? Because as I know you're a hater too, but I'm glad to see you on. Look, Cowboys versus the Ravens. I'm gonna turn it over to you, Marv. I'm gonna let you kick us off.
No. We gotta let the resident Dallas Cowboy, fan and apologist and whatever you want to call yourself for Dallas. I need to let you start this, but mind you, everybody, I need you to realize how he kind of set this up, right? Did you notice a few times he said it's early in the season? It's early in the season. It's early. He said that a few times, so I know he's gonna preface that in his little soliloquy about Dallas right now to tell us why we shouldn't be worried about the Cowboys. But I want to hear. I want to hear how you feel because you always say you're real about this. You true to the game, so let's see how true to the game you are right now.
I'll definitely kick it off. I have no problems with that because I'm always gonna bring the real. Look. Today, as in last week, the key to any football game, and football hasn't changed from beginning of time. You have to run the ball and you have to stop the run. Dallas couldn't run the ball today, which caused them to get behind on the scoreboard, and they couldn't stop the run, which was the major thing in the ball game. So Dallas has a problem right now stopping the run. They have to stop the run in order because Dallas's forte is rushing the passer. And if they can't get a team in 3rd and 6, 7, 8, 9, then what they do best is not, they can't do that, which is rushing the passer. But look, they have to stop the run. That's been what their Achilles heel has been since Mike McCarthy's been there. But it is early in the season, Mark. First and foremost, 3rd game of the season. Plenty of time to get the ship righted. But let me say this. The offense came back strong. Dak Prescott threw for 379 yards. There's nothing wrong with the offense. There were some penalties that I didn't like. But overall, where the Cowboys are at, I'm fine with it. We're 1-2 going into Thursday night against the Giants. Let's right the ship, and we're going to be fine. You guys want to jump all over Sammy Campbell. Nah, it's over. It's 3 games into the season. They have 14 more games. That's ridiculous. The Cowboys are fine. They're going to win 11 or 12 games like they always do, and they just have to right the ship. The one last thing I'll say about Dallas and what all the Cowboy fans needs to understand, the physical nature of the game. I don't think Dallas practiced tackling enough. They're arm tackling too much. They're reaching and grabbing and trying to tackle instead of laying that Rydell and them shoulder pads on people. You have to change that up, but there's plenty of time to do that, Mark. We're gonna be all right.
So all my my naysayers out there for the Cowboys, I happen to be one of them. I need to ask Cowboy experts, the same bugaboo that you dealt with last year. What has changed for Dallas from what ultimately was their demise last year? You're seeing it in the early parts of this season. The inability to stop the run, the inability to run the football, because I was told by somebody, I ain't going to say their name, but I was told that the offensive line was better. I was told that Zeke was going to return to his old form. I was told that you made 2 free agency pickups on the defensive line that was gonna halt the run, gonna make you more of a run stopping team. So and it's turned back into the $60 million man having to be the person to kind of catapult you to wins and to win playoff games, which we know he can't do because he's not done it yet. So we can't say he can do it because he's yet to do it, right? So what's different for as a Cowboy fan? You got to be worried because the same things that bother the same things. So then you just ignore it.
I'm
So
not ignoring it. I'm not.
you can't tell me the same issues that ultimately made you lose in the playoffs aren't the same issues that you're having to start the year. Do you see those,
That's
or are you saying they
That's
don't exist?
that is a true statement. I agree with you there. But Marv, you pick up 2 free agents prior to the season, right? They have to get in football shape. It's a long season. Look. It's 14 more games to go. I'm not worried. I'm not overly concerned with a 1-2 start. I'm Dallas has to get better stopping the run. The whole Achilles heel of what Dallas has to do in 14 games is stop the run. If they stop the run, they're right where they should be. I'm not overly
So
concerned with it.
would you agree with me that stopping the run and being physical is a mindset? Would
It
you agree
certainly
with
is.
me with that?
It certainly
Okay,
is. It certainly is.
so they didn't have the mindset to end the year last year. They certainly don't have that mindset this year. So all of a sudden it's a switch that's going to get flipped that you're all of a sudden going to have a mindset to where you're going to become a physical team that can stop the run when you don't really have the personnel to do so.
Well, I
So
think they have the personnel to do it, Marvin. It's not. I do think it's a mindset. I think it's a mindset of stopping the run. I think you can't be grabbing people with your arm and arm tackling. You have to lay the shoulder pads and Rydell on people. So certainly there's some things to clean up. What I'm telling you is mindset means go in there and hit somebody. Do I think Dallas has the personnel to do it? Absolutely. But they haven't shown it. Physicality is a mindset. It's a repetition thing. It's a lay the wood on you. But all of you guys that are sending these tweets and commenting, it's ridiculous. We're 3 games into the season. I mean, look,
and you
guys,
1-2, and you 1-2, and you've lost both games at home. That's a
Marv,
problem, Lee. I
we
understand that your hair not on
travel
fire
well,
because
man.
we
We
ain't got
travel
no
well.
hair. We don't have no hair right now, so our hair ain't on fire. But if you had hair, to be on fire. You lost 2 games at home. You gave up 260 yards on the ground today against a team that was 0-2 that couldn't find their identity, but they found it against you. So
A
thank
team,
goodness for Dallas for
a team
Baltimore.
that'll be in the playoffs and will be there at the end. I'm not. Look, you guys. I'm the same guy. I don't sugarcoat anything. Dallas has to stop the run. Running the football, Mark. We haven't even really been able. You haven't been able to test Dallas' ability to run the football because they dropped behind in these 2 games. So whether they can run the football, we don't know because they haven't had to run the football. They've been pass mode. So we don't know what the running game is going to be like. But certainly, I'm not worried. I'm not. I'm certainly not worried because I understand football. Sometimes you people that are just so fans, y'all want to pounce on Cowboy fans. We're America's team. We're the top draw in the league, and sometimes you guys like to pounce. I'm not one of those. I
Or
tell the
or
truth. Hold on, let me finish. I tell the truth when the truth needs to be told. I just told you what the Cowboys need to do and where we're at. But I don't overly panic on anything. 1-2 is not its death sentence. We're 1 game out of first place with 2 games to play against the team that's leading the division. I have no worries right now.
or maybe there's a flip side to that coin. Maybe you're like one of those just people that are in a relationship that everybody else can see is so bad, right? Man or woman, you in a relationship that you just getting beat, and but you still make excuses for that person because you love them so much, right? And you can't see what's right in front of you, and all the people that are surrounding you are trying to tell you, man, you in a bad relationship. Like this relationship is not healthy for you and you need to be able to see outside of it. So we trying to let you know right now that you in a bad relationship, Lee, and somehow you're gonna have to figure out a way to break free of it so you can get some perspective, and then you're gonna come back to all of us. You're gonna say, "Damn, man, y'all was right. I was in a bad relationship. I couldn't see outside of it because the Cowboys had me so jaded."
Let me get some of these comments. And Elliot Lyons, the true diehard Cowboy fans have an eternal optimism that I just can't figure out. It's amazing. Why do they believe so
No,
strongly this year? This comes from a Cardinal fan now. Sammy Campbell, Zeke is a fossil now. Lee, all Zeke can do is run in the refrigerator and grab a beer. Sammy Campbell's been a hater for about 40 years. Ray Blackwell, Dallas hasn't been able to stop the run. I agree with that. We have to stop the run. I don't have a problem with that. Marvin, L.A., are we still talking about the Dallas Cowboys? Look, Marv, there's no L.A.
I
team
think
that's
it's
relevant
math.
right
It's math.
now. And let me go to somebody else. Lee, Dallas is trash. Miss Norma Orange, Miss Orange, I'm not going to say anything. That's your opinion. And Recycle Me, Dallas is garbage. See, this is what I'm talking about, Marv. Because I didn't have any, in all of those comments I just read, there was not one true football analysis. All it was
no, there was a few. There were a few.
That wasn't. See, this is what I'm saying. I come on the show with true analysis of where the Cowboys are. I said they need to stop the run. They haven't stopped the run. They have to tackle better. They have to make sure that they get a lead or the game is close so they can use their pass rush. So I come on with analysis. But then I have all these people that want to pile on. But I'll take it because it's a long season. Trust me.
But Lee, let me tell you now, there was some valid comments. Here's one of them. Zeke is a fossil. All he can do is run the refrigerator. That's facts. The second fact, they hadn't stopped the run in 2 years. That's facts. The third fact that was said is that about the optimism of Cowboys fans. Every year is going to be your year. That's facts as well. So, don't poo-poo all. Yeah. I know you. You front runners.
We're not front runners. I've always been a Cowboy. We win every year. We're America's team. We're the most watched team. We have the most games. So this is not optimism. This is truth.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question as a Cowboy fan. Would you take being America's team and the most watched? Is that more valuable to you than Super Bowls?
Well, let me say this, Mar.
No. That's a simple yes or no. It's a simple yes or no.
We have 5 Super Bowls, so we've won Super Bowls. So I don't know.
You haven't won in this decade. You ain't won in about 3 decades already. But it's been about 2 decades.
Keep the comments coming. I love this stuff because I'm going to be the one with the last laugh. But I love this. Y'all keep it. But I will say this, Marv. I do like it when people have a true analysis of the football game. But we're gonna turn the page. We're gonna turn the page. Thank you for all your comments. We're gonna try to get all your comments on as you can. So let's jump into it. The Colorado Buffaloes. Comeback win last night. The Stars was on display. Deion Sanders doing what he does. Travis Hunter doing what he does. They said Coach Prime couldn't coach, but called a great end of play. He called a tremendous play. Put Travis Hunter over there to draw 3 people, threw it to LeJontay Wester on man-to-man coverage. It wasn't a Hail Mary. That was a strike by Shedeur. And the Buffaloes go to 3-1. Now, I had all of you people talking about the Buffaloes and how Deion couldn't coach, how, Shedeur was too arrogant, and the Buffaloes were not going to do anything. Marv, I'm going to turn it over to you because I think you were one of them. Talk to me about the win yesterday.
So are we going? So I'll preface my comments first of all. What type that will play rush 5 and play a press man coverage and a Hail Mary with the only thing that can beat you is a touchdown. You can shake your head all you want to, Lee. That is football remedial level 005. It is the dumbest thing that I've ever seen. Now, mind you, okay, this is what it took for Colorado to beat a team that went 2-7 in the Big 12 last year and won 3 games last year. Now, Colorado won 4 games last year. And I think I remember you saying that it would have been regression if Colorado wouldn't have won Saturday night. So this is what it took for Colorado to win. It took a Hail Mary that was dropped. It took a second Hail Mary that was caught. It took a touchdown in overtime, and then it took a fumble on the goal line for them to win. And mind you, let me give you one more point here. Dave Aranda called a freaking timeout after the first Hail Mary that the kid dropped just to make sure he got his formation right, and he came out of the timeout rushing 5 and man press coverage on the corners. Now, you can't that's a fireable offense at that level of football. Okay? If any other coach that would have done that, you'd be saying that he's stupid, he's dumb. Who would call that kind of play? But because it was Deion and they creeped out a win from I don't know where they creeped it out from. It was the worst coaching performance that I've seen from a Division I coach in a long time. Be better at this year. They're not better at they're not better in any phase of the game. The only thing that they're better in is getting lucky. Okay, they won the football game, and they won the football game, and it's great theater. But if we're talking factual, like you like to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, we're talking facts here. You had two very mediocre to poor teams on the foot. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. But you can say no. But if you looked at that product on the field, then your eyes are lying to you. And maybe that's why you are a Cowboys fan, because maybe you don't know the game as well as I think you do. Maybe you fooling me, because what you saw on that football field Saturday night, if you thought that was good football, like I always tell you, I got some other stuff I need to sell.
Marv, stop it. You sit up here making all these excuses. Shedeur Sanders.
I got no dog in the fight. Ain't no excuses. Travis Hunter is the best player in college football. I'm good with that.
Clear up something. First of all, Ricky Britt, I'm glad you joined. I love you. You know football. Vikings, great win today, Ricky Britt. Thank you for joining in. Marv, stop it. First of all, that wasn't a Hail Mary. That was a strike by Shedeur Sanders. That wasn't a Hail Mary. That was a strike by Shedeur Sanders. Stop it.
Shedeur Sanders said it in his post-game comments that he threw it up to the gods. He threw it up to the gods and hoped and prayed that somebody would come down to it. But now you telling me that it was a pinpoint pass. Okay, I guess he was on the field. What number were you, Lee? Was you blocking? That's why they had so many sacks, because your ass was out there blocking. Now I get it. It makes more sense now.
Deion Sanders and his coaching staff drew up a phenomenal play. Where are all the people that was talking about Coach Prime? I don't hear none of you. I don't see any other comments. I don't see anything now that they're 3-1. I don't see any other comments coming in about Coach Prime. I want to have those conversations. They're 3-1.
Yeah, we can have a conversation. Remember, they were this last year. This is what they were last year.
Coach Prime and what they did. Marv, they ran for 91 yards yesterday. They ran for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's improvement. But you know what? They don't have to run for 100 yards because they have Travis Hunter, they have Shedeur Sanders, and they have the best receiving core in the country. So where's all of the coach?
Okay, I'm glad you said that to me, Lee. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that to me, Lee, because yesterday on the show you made this very point to me about Tua and about Bryce Young and about Alabama quarterbacks. Remember this comment that you made to me? That it was easy to be that good when you were throwing to all that talent. Remember when you said that to me yesterday? So is Shedeur Sanders a product of the best receiving room in college football? Would you say the same thing about Shedeur Sanders now that you say about all the Alabama quarterbacks that were throwing to all that talent?
Not.
Is Shedeur a product? Is Shedeur? Oh, so it's different. So Shedeur has the best wide receiver room in college football, according to you. That was your words, not mine. But for some reason, now he's better than Tua and Bryce Young when you said that the only reason they were good was because of the talent that they threw to. Shedeur makes Travis that good, huh? Shedeur makes Jimmy Horn Sr. Junior that good.
What I said was Tua, Jalen Milroe, Bryce Young.
No, you didn't say nothing about Jalen Milroe. You said Tua and Bryce Young. Jalen Milroe was not in this conversation.
They were throwing to receivers that were wide open. Shedeur Sanders he completes 70% of his passes. He's deadly accurate.
You're not answering my question.
Well, the question doesn't make sense because Shedeur Sanders
makes perfect sense.
We have 2 Heisman Trophy candidates that both should be.
Shedeur Sanders won't sniff the Heisman. Travis is the only one that can sniff the Heisman. Shedeur ain't sniffing the Heisman.
He's the best quarterback in the country. I want to get to something that Elliott said because I like to give equal time. I want to see Coach Prime and the Buffs remain humble and keep grinding. They have 2 outstanding players, and they can win some games if they focus on the field and they stay off social media. Elliott, you know I love you. You like a brother to me, but I just don't understand what staying humble means. I just don't understand what it means. Deion Sanders is a God-fearing man. He raises his kids right. All of the players love him. The people in Boulder love him. He's on social media because social media is what the young kids love, and that's the way he's recruiting.
So who is not letting Coach Sanders build a program? What's his contract for, if I'm not mistaken?
Well,
How
you
many years
guys
did he
are
get on?
saying.
No. I'm not media. I'm just a dude on a podcast. So
I'm talking about
what's the
my
deal?
co-host on the podcast.
What's the deal? What's his contract for?
Well, let y'all tell it. He only has 2 years.
No. I didn't ask you to let y'all tell it. What is his actual contract for? Hey, how many years did he get?
He got 5. The people in Boulder are extremely happy. Right. That's all I know. The people in Boulder are extremely happy.
you just threw something out there that was just factually incorrect. Okay,
the people in Boulder get off social media.
Deion took the route of gutting a program. Nobody told him to do that. He did it. So he put himself under that microscope by doing what he did. So don't blame others for now calling him out on his decision on how to build a program. And he won 4.
It's gutting the program working.
It's not gonna. Is it? He won 4 games last year.
I think he's ahead of schedule. He's won 3. He's 3 and 1 now.
What was the schedule?
So I think he's
you can't be worse than 1 win. You can't be worse than winning 1 game.
He's 3 and 1. He's 3 and 1, Mark.
He was last year.
This is the thing that bothers me about all the Deion hate, because you give all of these other coaches rope to go 2, 3, 4, 5 years. In year 2, you're saying he's not improving the program when he's 3 and 1. He's on national TV every week. He's the most talked about. He has the most talked about program in the country, and he is just starting to build the program. It's a fabulous job, and that's my whole deal about the whole thing about Colorado. I cannot believe how people take shots. Look, Deion Sanders, he has a NIL valuation of $5.1 million, highest in college football. He's a star. It's the entertainment business. People want him to stay off social media, but you know what people don't say? That he's one of the hardest working quarterbacks that have ever come through college football, that he can read defenses like pro quarterbacks right now, that he's deadly accurate, and it has to be that he's put in the time to be this way. Talk about those skills and not talk about him being on social media, because every young person.
Well, I'm gonna use your saying again. 2 things can be true, correct? He can be all those things, and that's great. And he's already got an evaluation as being a top 5 draft pick. So who's saying that he's not those things, right? So, but it can also be true that you don't throw your offensive lineman under the bus and talk about another quarterback not.
That's ridiculous.
I know that according to you, he didn't. But
he brought him to the press conference with him, Mark.
And that was the next week. That was the next week, Lee. But so 2 things can be true, Lee. Like it can't be all or nothing one way or the other, right? Like you like Deion, you like the way that he does it, and other people don't. What's wrong with people not liking the way that he runs the program? Just like you want them to be okay with the way he is, it's okay for people to not be okay with it. It's okay for traditionalists not to like the way he's building his program.
I'm okay with it. Personally, I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with people can have their viewpoints of any back and forth, but this is the problem I have. I believe in comps, Mar. I believe in comps. When I look at players, I say this is a comp, so I can evaluate the situations and evaluate it on even kills. When I look at where Coach Prime is in year 2, where others have been in year 2, the way we judge him is not the same. That's all. You can think or whatever you want. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm going to support the man for what he's done. When he doesn't do the things, I'll call him out on it. But you cannot say these things. He can't coach. He can't coach when he's won every place. He's won high school state championships. He's won SWAC championships. So you can't say that he can't coach. And you can't say that the team
you could
have
won a SWAC championship. You could have won a SWAC championship with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. I mean, come on, man. Me and you could have went out there and won the SWAC. I could have been. I would just pump my brakes when it takes 2 Hail Marys to beat a team that won 3 games the previous year. That's all I'm saying. Pump your brakes, because you should have lost the game. And Dave Aranda Dave Aranda probably should be fired. And the reason I'm so mad about it is because of those kids. Those kids played well enough to lose, and you had a head coach who put you in a position not to win a football game. It
Well,
was really, really bad. His coaching was really, really bad. Okay,
Colorado
so
played well enough to win. I don't see any other comments. I guess everybody's MVP. Great job, Asia. She may win Defensive Player of the Year as well. I tend to want to lean towards Angel Reese for that, for the defense that she plays and her rebounding. But she may win that. Today we had some. The higher seeds all won. The higher seeds all won. And last week, Marv, I wanted to throw this out because we didn't get a chance to really continue to dive into that. But I saw that Connecticut sort of beat the taste out of Indiana today, 93-69. And, your rookie of the year choice, Caitlin Clark, only 11 points, 4 for 17, 2 for 13 from three-point range. What are your thoughts about the WNBA playoffs, and what do you think the higher seeds all winning today? I have one more game. And what do you think about the Fever? Everybody was on the Fever's train. So what do you think about the Fever and what they can do in the playoffs?
I mean, Connecticut's gonna win the series. They're better than them, but I loved how you try to throw that Caitlin Clark dig in there, but you didn't mention that Mitchell only made 2 3-pointers as well. They only went 6 of 28 from the 3-point line. So that's stat picking, 21 right? Points, though. That's what you're doing. Well, you talked about 3-pointers, right? That's what you talked about. That's what you say. That's what you said. They only made 6 on the game. So nobody expects the Fever to beat Connecticut. Connecticut is I think Connecticut had 50 points in the paint. I mean, 50. Right? You're not going to beat anybody if you're allowing 50 points in the paint. So that's what Connecticut does. That's who they are, and they're physically too imposing for Indiana at this point. So 21 points, sure. Your girl had 21 points, and they still got their ass drugged. Okay, so it's pretty much baseless stats, just like Dak. It's baseless stats because it comes because Dak? Well. I'm just saying because you tried to throw the little dagger in there. She only had 11 points, but your girl had 21 and they still lost by 20 or 25, whatever it was. So,
can I ask you a question? If Indiana is to win one of these games in its best 2 out of 3,
not going to win anything.
What do you think they have to do? Because we had a debate whether who's the best player on that team, and people call me literally crazy. I mean, I don't know. I just call it out what I see. So goes Kelsey Mitchell. So goes the Indiana Fever. I'll say that again. That's the only way they're going to win if Kelsey Mitchell goes off and she's the catalyst for them winning. That's not a knock.
According to you,
how they're going to win a basketball game.
According to you, she went off tonight. She had 21 and they still lost by double digits, right? There's no defense for size. 50 points in the paint is 50 damn points in the paint. And then you got 16 points off of turnovers. I don't know any NBA team, WNBA high school. If you're giving up 50 in the paint, you're not going to win a basketball game. And that's what Connecticut's going to do to them. They're physically too imposing for Indiana. I don't care if Kelsey Mitchell had 50. They're not beating Connecticut. So that's just the way it is. It's a bad matchup for them, and it has been. It's going to continue to be. I don't expect Indiana to win a game in this series.
Well, I hope they do. I'm looking forward to it. I don't have any issues with Caitlin Clark as a ball player. I like her. But all of these people that are in love with Caitlin, bottom line is this. I said it last week, and I'll say it again. If they're going to win anything, it's going to be driven by the way Kelsey Mitchell plays, and I think it pans out when you see him play.
Well, but can we make one more comment before we head on to the next?
You can have the last word, Mark.
That's a great point, Lee. But Kelsey Mitchell was part of the Indiana Fever last year, and they ended up with the number one. They ended up with the number 1 pick in the draft. The number 1 pick in the draft comes in this year in the Indiana Fever in the playoffs. So there is something to be said for that. So if Kelsey Mitchell was who you think she is, then they wouldn't have been picking number 1 in the WNBA draft, and it wouldn't have taken Caitlin Clark coming to this team to propel them to a playoff berth, even though they're not going to win. So there is something to that, Lee. So just I'm just kind of giving that to you just so you know. And the FISA call, you're going to be a problem for Minnesota before y'all kind of get up. I think she ended up with 40 tonight. She finished second in the voting to Asia Wilson. I can't wait to see those two go at it. 2 best players to me in the WNBA. And I love the way Minnesota plays. They spread you out, kind of like Tennessee in college football. And they penetrate and kick, and that's going to be a great series if it comes. But Nafisa Call, you remember that name.
Y'all check out the game Wednesday night. We'll see. But I love Kelsey Mitchell, and we'll see if Kelsey can bring him home. Last year's not this year, and you have to build a team. But I stand by my words, and hey, we'll see how it goes. This has been another great show. Hey, I love it. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all of you chiming in. Hey, this is how we do it. You'll start seeing more content this week coming out from After the Buzzers with Lee and Marv. Hey, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Tell a friend about us. Hey, we're going to see you next week. Remember, Saturday mornings, Sunday afternoon, we do this every week. I'm Lee Jones for the Hall of Famer Marvin Orange. We'll see you next week.